We're going to get through our crew tip of the week. We do this at every presentation. And if you've missed out on a bunch of tips, you can go on our YouTube channel, it's on our website, and then Tim, there must be about 50 tips on there.
You're getting there, yeah.
And some of those tips can make you a lot of money. But this week's tip is how to get a deal in a crazy market.
Yeah, and we're saying that the market right now is crazy because it really is. We're getting into multiple offer situations almost every single day. It's unfortunate for our investors because they always have to cap out at a certain price point. Otherwise, the properties become cash flow negative. But that's the market we're in, and that's what we have to live with.
Yeah, and you may hear the word crazy a lot because it is crazy. Like, we're losing properties, Tim, every second day. We're in multiple offers, and some of the prices that these properties are going for, we just can't believe it. It's even worse than last year in COVID, Tim, you would say right now, and inventory is driving that. But how do you get a deal in a market like this? First off is looking at days on market, DOM. And this is so important because if a property comes on, Tim, you tell everyone, when a property comes on the market, is a seller going to take a discount?
Not necessarily. Normally, a seller puts it on at their best price that they think it's going to sell somewhere around there. And for someone to come in and lowball offer them on the first day, they're going to get a rejection straight out. And we've experienced that many, many times with our investors. But as the property sits on the market for a while, it gets a little stale. It's been on 30 days, 60 days. That's when you can swoop in and get a deal.
Yes, everybody has to understand that property has to sit on the market to get a good discount on these properties that are just coming on the market. Because Tim and I were in Bennington this afternoon. We were there for about 20 minutes. And before we got there, there was a realtor showing the property. While we were in the property, there was another realtor that turned up to show the property. And when we were leaving, there was another showing happening. So that's 4 showings within 20 to 25 minutes. And that property came on the market today, and offers are tonight at 9 p.m. And what we're seeing out there is normally 8 to 10 offers on these properties. So there is no way you're going to get a deal on a property in this market that's just come on.
Yeah, the sellers know this. They know that if it's priced right, they're going to get a lot of offers on it, or at least a lot of interest in it. And they're going to wait to see if they can at least get their list price.
Yeah, now there is one way around this, and we want to stress this to everybody out there, is simply to run a comparable market analysis. So we had a property come on the market the other day in Castle Ridge. We knew it came on high. We showed our clients what the property is worth, and we ran all of the comparables, and we're taking, Tim, in this market comparables up to 30 days old.
Yeah.
Because if you go back 60 days, the market was different 60 days ago compared to 30 days ago. And we're showing him per square foot where that house should sell. And we have no problem doing that. We actually ask the listing realtor to educate us sometimes on how they arrived at that list price. And they could give you all sorts of excuses. It could be like, well, the market's hot right now. And if, like we did, we looked in that community, Castle Ridge, and we could see that, yes, Calgary's hot, but guess what? Castle Ridge isn't as hot as this realtor was leading on.
Yeah, and we're getting a lot of unrealistic prices by sellers right now. Like Azad said, they feel that the property is worth this much. They think that their neighbors sold for X amount of dollars, so they can get that. When you go on gut feelings in real estate, it doesn't really work. And it especially doesn't work when you're buying rental properties because the numbers really have to work. And that leads us to the next factor in getting a crazy deal in this market is if you do a proper cash flow analysis and you look at future appreciation, then you can determine if it's a deal or not.
Yeah, and this, what happens here is it doesn't matter if a realtor's listed the property too high, and in some cases they've actually listed it too low, and no one can see those future projections. So that is key. Running your numbers, we do it all the time. It's a must, and then you can see if this property is worth it or not. And the last thing we want to stress in this market, how to get a deal in this crazy market, is shop in your price range. We can't stress this enough, because if you're financed up to $450,000 and you're sometimes looking at properties You have to be realistic on how nice the property is, how many showings they're going to get, and how many offers they're going to get. And 9 times out of 10 in this market, if the property is priced correctly, that's why it takes a few of these points to understand. If it's priced correctly, it's going to go well above where your max is.
Yeah, and if we were in a different market, in a buyer's market, you may be able to say at that 450 mortgage range, you may be able to go into properties $10,000-$20,000 more than that and offer lower, and the seller might take it. But that's only if you're in a buyer's market. Right now, we're really in the seller's market in this price range under 550, and the sellers really control what's happening. That's why it's really hard to get a deal. But if you use the strategies that we're talking about, then you can get a deal in this market.
Yeah, so that is our Crew Investment Tip of the Week. Once again, if it's your first time getting our tips, just go on Crew TV. It's our free YouTube channel, and you'll see all of the tips we've been doing for a couple of years now.